Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel again. As promised, I am about to do an author's reading from my latest book, Tales from Other Worlds and Realms, Volume 1. Now I did a YouTube video a little bit back, I think it was like in December or November time frame, where I gave everyone a little fair warning about this book, because this book is not like your typical book that I usually write. My genre is usually fantasy fiction, and this does have some fantasy and it does have fiction in it, but it also has some sci-fi and thrillers, and like I explained in my other video, it is you could say, a tribute to one of the stories that I grew up reading as a kid, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark and More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I love those short stories, I love those collections, so I was trying to really capture a lot of thriller type stories. And like I said, that's not usually my type of genre, but you could also say what also inspired this collection of stories was this short story that is found in the book, Shoo, Shoo, Click. This story I happened to hear from one of my babysitters years and years ago. And it is a story that has stuck with me. And as I explained in the book, that I felt like nobody had ever heard this story before. There's been a few renditions of the story, there's been a few close similarities to other stories, but nothing like she told the story. It wasn't even close to how she told the story. So I wanted to keep her story alive and thrill and amaze anyone else that dares read this thrilling story. So I'm going to start off reading the short story, Shoo Shoo Click, and I'm not going to read it all to you because I want you to be thrilled and shocked at the very end of the story like I was when I first heard it. And so I'm just only going to give you a brief read from that short story. And also, I'm also playing around with video editing, trying to have a little fun with this. So you're also going to see, while I read the video, you're going to see the early renditions of the sketches that I tried to make and tried to do of Shoo Shoo Click to help illustrate the book. So as I'm reading, you're going to see some of the trial runs that you can only find on the DeviantArt page by Sir Exile the Wanderer. So I'll get more into that after I read the short story. So sit back and enjoy this epic tale of Shoo Shoo Click. It all began many years ago in a quiet little town, a town where all the houses shared the same sidewalk and everyone knew everybody. A young boy, whose name has long been forgotten, was playing under his father's car. The father, not seeing his son, got into his car and backed out of the driveway, running over his son's feet, crushing them beyond repair. The boy was taken to the hospital and was told he would never be able to walk again. The doctors, though, had an interesting solution to repair the boy's feet and gave him some form of mobility. They removed his broken feet and replaced them with rollerblades. At first, the boy was thrilled that he was able to move and be almost like other children, but then became bitter when he discovered that he could no longer play on the grass. His rollerblades couldn't roll or move on grass. The grass kept on wrapping around the wheels, stopping him dead in his tracks. The boy could now only move on the sidewalks. Eventually, the boy's bitterness began to grow as he watched other kids play on the grass and have fun without him. The other little boys teased him constantly for being different than them. Soon he skated away from home and started terrorizing his little town, starting with those that picked on him. In time, his whole appearance began to change, so much so that his own mother wouldn't recognize him if she saw him. He never cut his hair, and his fingernails grew very long and sharp, for he never trimmed them or cut them. His teeth also grew sharp and were forever stained yellow because he never brushed them. He never spoke a word to anyone. The only sounds he made were from his rollerblades, which made a shoo, shoo, click sound. The click came from whenever the wheels made contact with one of the cracks in the sidewalk. Because of this, the town gave him the name Shoo, Shoo, Click. Everyone learned fast to keep their children and themselves off the sidewalks and to lock their doors always. For the sidewalks of the neighborhood would go straight to the front door, and if they didn't lock their doors, Shoo Shoo Click would get them. Yes, everyone knew, the moment you heard the Shoo Shoo Click sound, to find the nearest patch of grass and stay there until Shoo Shoo Click passed by. Which was hard in most cases, because hardly anyone saw Shoo Shoo Click, even in the middle of the day. But they always heard him rolling up and down the sidewalks of their little town. Another way to avoid being attacked by Shoo Shoo Click was staying in groups or walking together on the sidewalk. Everyone knew that Shoo Shoo Click never attacked groups of people. No, he only attacked those who were all alone and on his sidewalks. Everyone knew that if you traveled alone, you traveled on the grass or even in the street. People of the town would rather be hit by a car than face Shoo Shoo Click, especially after the incident that happened to a young boy. Once a group of boys dared each other to stand on the sidewalk alone, then jumped to the grass when they heard the shoo, shoo, click coming. Those that stayed on the sidewalk longest won their little game. But none of the boys of the town play their thrilling game of chicken with Shoo Shoo Click anymore. Not after one of the boys didn't make it onto the grass in time. His friends watched in horror as he was slaughtered by Shoo Shoo Click. It was the testimony of these boys that put fear into the hearts of every person in the town, and confirmed why everyone should follow the rules they made. The boys said that Shoo Shoo Click grabbed their friend before he was able to jump onto the grass and threw him on the sidewalk. Then, using his long, sharp nails and teeth, he mauled the poor boy to death. After the boy was dead, Shoo Shoo Click dipped his fingers in the boy's blood and wrote, "Never play chicken with Shoo Shoo Click." When the boy was murdered, the cops came to see if they could stop Shoo Shoo Click, so this would never happen again, but he vanished from sight. They searched up and down the sidewalks, but could never find a trace of him. It was after the cops strongly encouraged the people to follow the rules and keep an eye out for each other. Night and day, Shoo Shoo Click skated down the sidewalks looking for his next lonely victim, constantly making the shoo, shoo, click sound. Every day and night, he tried the doors to see if they were unlocked. Sometimes he would even try knocking to see if anyone would let him in. One day, it worked. A little girl left alone opened the door, and she too was killed. The message he wrote in her blood was, "Never open the door to strangers." It was after this event that the people came up with a new custom for opening their doors. The new custom was that the visitor to the home would always say who was knocking when they knocked at their friend's house. If the townspeople only heard knocking at the door, they never opened it. For a long time, the people of this small town lived comfortably with their new rules and customs. It became a rare event if Shoo Shoo Click attacked somebody. Most of the people started to forget that he even existed, but were quickly reminded when they heard the shoo, shoo, click sound. One spring morning, a girl named Amber came downstairs to enjoy breakfast with her family. Her mother was already hard at work trying to get everything ready. When she saw Amber, she quickly said, while mixing the pancake batter, "Oh, Amber, I need you to run down to the store and pick up another gallon of milk. I used the last bit we had for the pancake batter." Amber was shocked and said, "Mom, I can't go to the store by myself. Shoo Shoo Click will get me if I go by myself." Amber's mom wiped some sweat from her brow and calmly replied, "You'll be fine, Amber. Just stay on the grass and he won't get you. Now please hurry and go. Breakfast is almost ready. And I need that milk. You know how much your father loves his milk with his breakfast." Amber took a deep breath, put on her shoes, and ran out the front door as fast as she could. She stayed on the grass, as her mother advised, as she darted to the nearest store. She bought some milk and ran back home as fast as she could. She was nearly home when she heard in the far distance, "Shoot, shoot, look." Amber looked around and couldn't see anyone or anything on the sidewalk. She took one more deep breath before she ran to her front door. She was shocked when it didn't open. It was locked. She then heard the faint sound again. Shoo, shoo, look. Amber started fumbling in her pockets looking for her house keys to discover that she had left it inside. She heard the sound again, this time a little closer. Shoo, shoo, click. Amber started knocking on the door in hopes her parents would hear her and let her in. She cried out, "Mom, Dad, it's me, Amber. Can you please let me in? I forgot my keys." And I think that is where I'm going to stop for today, for this reading. I hope you enjoyed that reading, and I hope that you guys got so enticed and so engrossed that you guys will go out and purchase the book and figure out what happens to Amber. Does she make it? Does Shoo Shoo Click it her? And I hope you also enjoy all the other wonderful and thrilling tales that can be found within this volume of short stories. I put a lot of hard work and effort into this, and again, it's a tribute to my babysitter that shared that incredible story with me all those many years ago. It's a tribute to that story that I read as a book, More Stories to Tell in the Dark and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And like I said, the images that you saw just now were the prototypes for the illustrations, the very first renditions of what I was trying to find the right look for Shoo Shoo Click to help illustrate and capture the thrill of this terrifying urban legend creature. So I hope you all enjoy. And if you guys enjoyed seeing all these prototypes of the illustrations and liked seeing the process of being made, of trying to find the right Shoo Shoo Click, you can again go to the DeviantArt page by Sir Exile the Wanderer. Sir Exile the Wanderer has many. Sorry, my screen kind of blacked out there for a moment. But yeah, Sir Exile the Wanderer is one of my other screen names that I use, especially on DeviantArt. And that is where you'll see a lot of sneak peeks to my stories, some illustrations, as well as me brainstorming a lot. I go to DeviantArt a lot to do some brainstorming, to find inspiration for my books and novels. So if you want to follow me on my DeviantArt page, I'll even include that in the link down below. That if you want to go to my DeviantArt page and follow the creative process of some of these books and how some of these books came to be and how some of the illustrations came to be, you could definitely go to my DeviantArt page and just have a lot of fun there looking at the process of the artwork, as well as just getting a little inside my head to my brainstorming of trying to create these remarkable, thrilling, and amazing stories. And I hope you guys enjoyed that short book reading, and I hope I didn't leave you guys hanging too much. But again, I don't want to spoil it for you. I want you guys to read the book yourself. So I want you to go out, buy the book, and read the book, and fall in love with it, like I did when I was a kid, and I just fell in love with that story. So I think that's all for today. So I hope you all have a good day and be on the lookout for all my other books, all my other stories, and other things that I work really hard on to help inspire and amaze everybody that dares to dream. So until next time, be on the lookout for my books, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for everything. Bye.